Get ready for some mixed media, a little bit of junk, and a lot of fun. I hope you guys are ready. Let's go ahead and jump in with project number 1. This first project, I had so many ideas, and I did settle on using this frame. It is a vintage frame that has this piece of art that is removable, but you have to pop everything out. So I thought we would try a new technique, and I'm showing you the different colors of greens that we're going to be using. Now you can do this with any colors. It doesn't have to be green, which happens to be my favorite color. But I wanted to start out with painting the base of this completely in a dark green. You're going to see that pop up real quick. Now I've got all my lids open. I like to use them as little palettes when I'm mixing my colors, and then I just kind of clean them up if they get, paint mixed in. So the first thing I do is get one heavy coat of this green all over the frame and including the insert. Yes, wait till you see what we do. I love this, and you are going to be seeing more of these in the future. I don't know if you noticed, but I did go ahead and spray a little bit of water on this because at first when I was doing the blending, not really blending, but I'm taking each color and just adding little like patchwork all over this, kind of up and down and side to side. But then I realized I don't want this to blend too much. So I go ahead and grab my dryer and dry some of the colors I've already put on. And the reason I do that is so the next layer kind of lays on top and shows just like little patchwork of layers of these colors. And you can see that's drying there. We will seal this coming up because it's this is chalk paint. Well, it's clay paint, and clay paint dries not as dark as it does once it's sealed. But as you can see, I just keep adding until I get the colors the way that I want them, and almost like a bunch of green patchwork. Just have fun with this. Oh my gosh, you guys, I loved this so much. I can't wait for you to see the rest of it. While I was doing this, I kept thinking, okay, I like the brush strokes, but I really want some more texture. So I thought, oh, I need to get out one of my little paint spatulas. So I grabbed this one. Now they have the plastic ones at Dollar Tree. You can find them if you don't already have some. And I just kind of smoothed most of everything I already put on and then added more chunks even on top with that little spatula. Now look at all this. Wait till it dries. I swear this was so much fun, you all. I'm going to be using this ephemera stamp by IOD, and I'm just rolling some paint on that postcard stamp, and I'm just going to do some pink texting, just a few places on here. I should have used a lighter color of pink. This one was a little bright, but it's okay. It works out once we start adding a beautiful transfer. I'm not putting the sealer on this yet, so we still have that kind of dry clay paint, but wait till we seal it. I am putting this rose or flower from the IOD flowers. I think it was this past Christmas, spring? I can't remember. I just put that on, and then I use a matte clear coat of my favorite RUSTOLEUM clear matte finish. I have that linked in the description box below. If you want any products that I show in this as far as transfers, Aunt Bee's Attic is who's my affiliate. The link is in the description box below. Once I get this dry, then we're going to go ahead and add some of this wax. You guys know I've had a bunch of waxes in my stash for a long time. And this is called, I think, Sweet Pink, Sweet Mauve. To finish this piece off, I'm going to add some of this Prima Sweet Rose after I looked up the name. And then we're going to add just a little bit of this DIY gold wax. It's very liquidy, but it's great for kind of a sheer see-through, which is what I love to do with this. And I'm just going to hit some highlighted spots. This piece is done. You guys let me know what you think. And would you like to try this with, say, a lot of different blue colors or a lot of different pinks or reds? Let me know in the comments below. Project number 2 is a request from Mark Bez in South Africa. She has requested that I use the Charlotte stamp from the IOD release in 2024, but I can't remember which season. So we are going to use the beautiful Charlotte. This is the Charlotte stamp, and we're just going to use her I have these beautiful pages from this library, Waldy's Library from 1841. Yes, this is an actual antique page. We're going to use the Stone Gray from IOD, and we're going to stamp beautiful Charlotte in the corner of this. Now, I have attached this to an 8x10 backing that goes inside of a frame, and you'll see what we're going to do. Stay tuned. The beauty of this is going to be what goes around Charlotte. I want to take this time to thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you enjoy this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe. Give me a little like to help push out my channel to other people. Once we get this stamped, isn't she beautiful? I decided that I thought I would go through some of my paper craft supplies and look for things that had flowers that I could cut out. So basically I had some scraps. Some of these are digital prints. You can use book pages, magazines, anything you want to pull out some beautiful flowers to use with this project. Once I got a little pile of cut out flowers, I grabbed my permanent glue stick. I am using this one. It is acid free. It doesn't turn the paper any weird colors or ruin them. You can use any type of glue you like. I have full faith in permanent glue sticks. I use them all the time. I've never had any issue. Plus, I love the ease of use with them. I just have to take a minute to say I'm sorry about all of the noise in the background. I've had phone calls. It is crazy. As soon as you go to do a voiceover, all the loud vehicles go by, all the people you never hear from calls. I'm just kidding, but it has been almost torture trying to get this voiceover done. So please excuse the background noise. All right, once we get these finished, we're going to add a little blue butterfly to Charlotte's hair, and I can't wait to show you the frame that we put her in. We're going to use Seaside Infusion to give this 2 good coats. I do love this frame the way it is and did not want to paint it. Unfortunately, the champagne color did not go well with Charlotte, and it has some scratches on the top. So I go ahead and give this 2 good coats and let that dry. Let me know what you think about our dear Charlotte. I so enjoyed making this project, and I hope this gave you some inspiration to make some of your own. If you stay till the end of this video, I have some gorgeous project shares to show you that I've made to go in my booth, my vendor booth. Project number 3, all I can say is this was so much fun. Grab out your junk, those favorite little findings and beautiful little pieces you have collected, and find a frame, get to work. It is so much fun. I'm using this cardstock to attach to the backing that goes on that long frame I just showed you. And I've collected some yellow and black, silver, gold, all different colors of metals, and the word bee. What sparked this was this beautiful bee brooch that I had in my stash. Now it's just a cheap, probably remake, nothing expensive, but it's just as beautiful. And I grabbed things that I thought would look good with it. Also, anything that looked like a collector might have. This is like a little collector's framed piece. So think of that. Think of a little collection that you might have that would be beautifully framed together. I am laying everything down and not attaching it yet, just trying to decide where I want everything to go and how I want them, the colors to kind of coordinate with the different colors of metals. This is so much fun. I love doing this. Once I got my layout finished, I grabbed my E6000 and just glued each piece to the paper. I made sure that I didn't get real close to the edge. Once I get this framed, then if I need to go back and add a few more pieces, I absolutely can. The biggest thing is to have fun with this. Because my letters were almost the same color as my background, I grabbed one of my paint black Posca pens, and I'm just going to trim around those edges, wiping it a little bit with a baby wipe, almost like using it as a stain, just to make those stand out from the paper. Now I'm showing you I have glued everything down. I let it set overnight. We're going to place it in the frame, and I do end up adding a few more pieces around those edges because the frame left plenty of space. This frame was already painted, I don't know, some kind of black maybe, and it had a weird coating on it, but I really liked it to go with this. I wanted it to look old and aged. So what I just did was add some waxes to this. I added DIY clear wax and some Bronze Age and Grecian Gold. I just kind of blended those in and then took a paper towel to kind of blend them in even more. Let me know what you think about our beautiful bee collection. Project number 4. This one is so easy. If you love collecting vintage sewing patterns for the artwork on the front, then join the crowd. I love these. Look how gorgeous. I love those savvy looking men. That one was like 50 cents. You can pick these up anywhere, thrift stores, eBay. I settled on the turquoise and red artwork. I just love how that looks. I grabbed this vintage frame out of my stash. I painted this with 2 coats of Crimson Waverly red chalk paint. I really wanted to accentuate the red and especially contrast that turquoise in this pattern artwork. Once that dried, or while that was drying, I found a coordinating floral cardstock in my stash. And because it was a little brighter than the pattern, I grabbed this vintage linen. This is a Distress Oxide by Tim Holtz, and went around that paper just to age it up the same color. I didn't want brown. I just felt like brown aging was too much. Sometimes paper's just kind of a tan, and this is a perfect color for that. Then, because my little pattern was wrinkled at the top, I used my handy dandy glue stick to smooth the top of that out and attach it to my paper. And that was it. This was so easy. You could batch make these. You could give these as gifts. You can hang them in your hobby rooms. They are just so fun. This will go in my vendor booth to sell. And because I have a vintage vibe, stuff like this absolutely sells in there. And I will price this for around $14. Now, I probably could get 18 to 20, but I like my stuff to sell pretty quick, and because I priced it more reasonable, it does sell pretty fast. I will finish the back of this off with some brown paper to make it look nice and beautiful. Let me know what you think about this, and have you done this before? Because this is nothing new. Lots of people have done these. I just thought that this was an easy way to upcycle a frame. Let me know in the comments how much you love sewing patterns. Project number 5, I am interested to see what you all have to say about this one. Now, I took this little frame, thrifted frame. I love the details on it, but not the color. So I'm giving this a coat of Evergreen from Paint Couture, and I don't really give it a full coverage because, well, at least on the bow, because I'm adding some dry brushing of this beautiful color called Brook Infusion. And I'm going to go around that beading as well, just a little bit on the edges. And what I did is I remembered there was some bunnies in one of my Christmas transfers from IOD, so I pulled it out, and I thought this little one that just has the green wreath around it would be perfect for this little round frame. I just laid the little transfer down and rubbed it on with the little stick that comes with the IOD transfers. Once I got that on there, I used my finger to kind of make sure it stayed in place. And now I am just adding some of this gorgeous wax that we used earlier called Vintage Silk. Now this is a Prima wax. It's the Art Alchemy line. I love this sort of creamy, just a little hint of glimmer color. Let me know, does this look like a spring bunny framed art, or does it still scream Christmas to you? Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. So I'm sharing with you what I love to make and put in my vendor booth. I have a vendor booth in Hickory, North Carolina, and I sell a lot of different things, including vintage items, handmade, dark and moody, papers, paint, you name it. I love to make collage. I fell in love with it a long time ago during my junk journaling days. And for me, this is pure joy. Putting together things that make a collage or tell a story, or just a lot of different items that brings the eye to them. I love to do that. So I'll sit down and make these to go in my vendor booth. I sell them anywhere from $3 to $5 depending on what they are, or $2 if they're really tiny ones. And it's just so much fun. And I make all different kinds. I make dark and moody, I make bright for people, cheerful, sometimes animal based, sometimes people based. It really just depends what catches my eye when I'm looking at all my lovely supplies. So I thought I would share this with you, and I have some other things that I wanted to talk about. I get a lot of comments about people wanting to start a booth or wanting to start a YouTube channel, or they're worried about what they've made being good enough. You do not have to worry about it. Always remember, someone is going to like your stuff. Someone is not going to like your stuff or your creations, and that is okay. The point is, if it's something you want to do, go for it. You will not regret it. You will love it. It is so much fun. The creating part and being able to share with people and talk with people about creating and crafting. I don't have a lot of, I don't have any crafting people in my life. So YouTube people that I talk to, that I comment with, and I follow and talk to them, they're the only people I know that make stuff. Well, I shouldn't say that. My son's girlfriend, she loves art, and I'm going to show you some things coming up that she has also done to put in the booth to sell. We're all kind of helping each other. I don't have a lot of time to do things, and so now my son is making things to put in my booth, and so is his girlfriend, which is awesome. So my son is making hats. He's using patches, and then he's using a button maker machine that I got on this channel a while back, making gorgeous antique looking buttons, and then of course newer ones, and adding even more things in there. My sister has also, her husband sells patches, and they asked to put some in my booth, so I've let them, and the stuff is selling. It's so much fun, you guys. It's just a lot of different things and variety, and people love that. I try to keep my booth sort of vintage based, but I do add things that people like to buy. It's okay. Our place that we sell is not just specifically an antique mall. They like for you to have some antiques and some vintage things, and we can add other things in as well. Now, this is one of my favorite one right there that I'm showing you all. I love that one. If you don't have a booth and you have no desire to have a booth, it's okay. Make your stuff, price it, put it on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. You can use Poshmark, you can use Mercari, you can use eBay. You can have it ready to sell and show your friends. You can do craft fairs. There's so many ways to market your stuff, and you can make little things and make a lot of money. I mean, this small stuff adds up. Honestly, I love the small stuff. I know I keep saying that, but I want you to know you have probably a whole room of supplies that you can sit down and make a bunch of stuff to sell without buying a thing. So my son's girlfriend wanted to make just some stamps items, something very easy, and that's one of the things I really wanted to show you all. She took some white cardstock, some inks, and some stamps, all supplies from my studio, and made these gorgeous cards and tags, and we're going to put these in my booth. The tags will be $1 a piece, and the larger pieces will be $2, but how fun are these? People can buy these. They're hand stamped. They like supporting other artists and small crafters, and they'll use them. They'll send somebody a card with one. They'll write on the back of it. They'll use a tag in their little book as a bookmark. Speaking of bookmarks, I have made these more than once. This is a digital I bought off Etsy years ago, and Everything Post sells in my booth. I've told you guys that. So these are bookmarks. I cut them apart. Sometimes I back them on each other, and sometimes I will add in other papers for the backing. I'm going to show you a piece right now, and then when these are finished, which you'll see coming up, I use some other pages as well. Well, there they are. Isn't these gorgeous? These are all digitals from Etsy, and they're like $1, 99 cents, $2. Just amazing prices, and they're yours forever. And as long as you alter these things, you can sell them. I have altered them by putting them in different papers. I've sewed around them. I actually tweaked the color a little bit. I've added some sari silk tie, which you can use any kind of thread or twine, and I've added a little charm to each one of these. Now I will sell these for $5 in my booth. I sat down and I made about 20 of these at one time. If you liked these and liked this, let me know. I'll be happy to share more with you. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I'm happy to answer. I'm about 2 weeks into comments. I have about 2 weeks more to answer. So if you've asked a question, I promise I'm going to get to it. Thank you so much. I will see you all in the next video.